Hola y bienvenidos a Amores Patos. Hi, welcome to Amores Patos.
I'm your host, Anna.
And I'm your host, Faby.
This is a podcast two best friends get together and talk about
Duck facts,
duck lore,
Duck Odd Couple, and DuckTales. There's nothing for me to sing to start this, Anna.
I know, there's nothing to sing. I want to start singing the Cheers theme, but that's unrelated to the episode just we were talking about before we started recording. Yeah. I can't even remember the name. Something, I don't know the rest. I learned the song from that one Adventure Time episode.
I didn't really watch Adventure Time.
I didn't either, but I liked the Simon and Marceline episodes, so those are the ones I watched. But this is Season 2, Episode 11, The Golden Spear.
Yeah.
We're trying to delay the pain. That is...
Holy shit. It's not even that delayed. I honestly thought, this arc was gonna move a lot slower.
Yeah, I'm like, oh damn, okay, we're doing this.
Yeah, because throughout the whole episode I kept thinking, she's not gonna make it.
Yeah.
And, because I think whenever we talk about it in terms of, season finale.
Yeah.
And then dealing with the fallout, season 3.
Is middle of the season. Yeah. They're like, oh, Della, she's here now.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh shit, cool. But also not. For,
for reasons we all know. We lost important family members.
Jesus. Anyway, so... Getting started. The story for this episode is by Frank Angonis, Madison Bateman, Colleen Evanson, Christian Magalhaes, and Bob Snow. It was written by Bob Snow. The storyboards are by Jean-Sébastien Duclos, Sam King, and Jason Riker, and it was directed by Jason Zurich.
Yeah.
And our watches. I mean, none of them. Should I bother? I'm depressed.
Oh no! We need to get another, really quick, watch
I
done.
know! Will another Faby ever happen again?
No.
Probably not.
There was something else that we also said, and it was, a few episodes later, we were whatever, we're dropping that one. Donald. It was our Donald watch.
Right, because first season he would not show up at all, and we're like, where the fuck he at?
Yeah, and then second season's no, he's here, and we're okay.
I'm like, okay. But, yeah, so, neighborhood watch, no. Matilda McDuck, no. Barry B. Benson.
Well, you got a nice little place here. Only hotel, I'm never stay inside.
He's not here. I'm very much hope for Matilda McDuck, because I trust this show to bring them her and, Hortense in some fashion.
Mm-hmm.
Flashback, please. Just because they brought in Feathery, who admittedly is more popular than, Matilda in, certain markets, but I have hope. I mean, considering they brought Scrooge's parents in.
Yeah, who we thought were dead, and...
I was so sure they were dead!
Yeah.
Pleasantly surprised that they weren't.
I know! We can go back eventually to visit them.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
I assume, obviously, Hortense and Quackmore are dead.
Yeah.
But Matilda. Anyway, so, this episode opens up on the moon. Mm-hmm. And we see the little moon critters.
Yeah.
I assume they've been here before, already, but it just didn't matter to show them.
Yeah.
Because we see it's Della. She's going back to the spear. Because, she's going from Tranquility, the city, to her ship, out in the waste.
Yeah. And we see that, in parts of, the moon now has, gold.
Yeah. It looks like since
the whole thing. Yeah.
Since they're not, hiding their city from anyone anymore. Because, I guess they're not completely living underground anymore.
I guess it's more open, maybe? Or maybe just they let her go back and forth at least. Yeah.
And, what's her face? Penumbra.
Penny,
voiced by Julie Bowen, again, doing a very, very fun job.
Yeah.
Is, like, spying on her.
Yeah, because, Della's just going about her day.
Yeah, she has a big sack of gold, because she's fixing the ship.
Yeah.
She's very steadily fixing the ship, and we see, she's inside the ship right now, and we see that she has, I guess, recorded on, like, a computer
VHS,
thing.
whatever, yeah.
Like, she looks like she's recorded, like, the TV transmission from Duckburg, way back from the Shadow War. Because we know this is happening present time.
Yeah.
So it's been a couple months. Because Shadow War was, in Battle of Dick Baloney, it was 3 months?
3 months, yeah.
And it's been a while since then, so it's been a good number of months that she's been fixing the ship.
Yeah.
Which makes sense, considering it was melted by acid.
Yes. Literally from the ground up, she's building it, or adding pieces and stuff like that, And we see her, she's, like, soldering things and stuff, but she's, like, kind of falling asleep while standing up.
Yeah.
So I'm like, put the little flame thing down. Yeah. But she's, like...
Soldering iron.
Yeah, soldering.
Or welding equipment, whatever it is.
Yeah, whatever it's called.
Wear goggles, Della! Burn your eyeball. You're gonna... Put them on! You're gonna, like, melt your eyeballs or whatever. We see Penumbra does not trust her. She just, like, followed her to the doorway and is, like, creeping.
And she's like, oh, like, what, treacherous spy, what are you up to?
Yeah. I can't stop! So close. Treacherous spy. What are you really up to?
She's trying not to fall asleep.
Yeah. She just wants to go home. Not up to anything nefarious. And then we go to Duckburg.
Yeah.
In this episode, we switch back between what Della's up to, and then at the same time what Donald and the kids, mostly Donald, are up to.
It's like, because we had talked about, like, maybe how the episodes were gonna, either it was gonna be, like, full episodes or switch. But yeah, it's a really fun switch, because you're going to Donald and some relaxing, sort of, like,
he has his little radio, has a little drink, he has tied a hammock between two trees on the lawn in front of the mansion.
Yeah. And he's relaxing, we get shots of, like, the scenery, like, some birds or whatever.
Like a cricket.
Yeah.
It's all very chill, he's relaxing, because he deserves it.
Yeah. But it was already giving me anxiety, because I know he can't laugh.
Yeah. Because the kids burst in.
Yes.
Webby and Huey specifically, because he's trying to read a book.
Yeah.
But the kids burst in, and they knock him out of... Well, no, they tie him up in the hammock just by passing under it very quickly. And he's like... Yeah.
He tells them, like, to be careful, because it's an expensive hammock.
Yeah.
And so he reads the tag, and it's like a therapeutic...
A prescription hammock.
Yeah.
To relieve stress, molting related to stress.
Yes.
Which I'm like, oh god, Donald has anxiety! No! We're one and the same! First we have the same birthday, and now we have the same mental illness.
Are you losing hair?
No.
You're both. I lost so much hair in the, like, month thing of preparing for, like, college applications.
Oh, God.
It was just, like, really bad.
Yeah. Oh, God, no, yeah. I just... Anxiety. It's there. It's great.
But but Webby goes on to say, like, oh, you're not molting, like, you have gorgeous, like, feathers.
And he, like, runs a hand down his head and down his face, and it comes out with, like, a fistful of feathers that he drops on the ground.
Yeah, just, oh.
Like, oh, shit. Okay, it's a lot of feathers. And they're like, okay, be chill, it's totally cool.
Yeah.
We're just wondering if we could borrow your VHS.
Yes.
Because, they have a strange-looking VHS case.
Yes.
And the tape.
Yeah, it looks like a face. Yeah. Could be made out of, like, skin. It's the Necronomicon set. Yeah, Necronomicon set. Yes. And it's the VHS, because Webby's very dramatic. He's like, the VHS that raises the dead, like, they need to watch it. And Huey's very, like, quickly, like, intercepts her. And he's like,
it's totally just a movie.
Yeah, like, from the 90s.
Yeah, that we're totally just gonna watch and not raise the dead with.
Yeah.
And not be turned into the living dead either.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
Anyway, we need to borrow your old VCR so we can watch this copy of the Necronomicon set, the VHS that raises the dead, the most horrifying...
The horror movie from the 90s! We'll take care of it, no need to worry. Read your book, relax, everything's fine.
If we don't become zombies!
From too much time in front of the old boob tube? Okay, bye!
And they're like, well, we're gonna be fine. And then Webby's like, not if we turn into zombies.
Yeah, and he was trying to drag her off. And he's like, from watching too much television.
Which is really fun, because, like, this episode specifically is very, like, rubbery in its expressions and movements.
Oh my god, no, this episode, because we've noticed it with the last couple episodes, starting with the Outlaw of Scrooge McDuck. Outlaw Scrooge McDuck. Oh, damn, I just realized I forgot to make a joke in the Found Lamp episode.
Why?
I was gonna say that it was an actual Beagle birthday massacre. Because it's Jin's birthday.
And they get massacred.
Damn, I just remembered I wanted to make that joke. I should have written it down.
You should be like me and write down your
I need to write down my planned jokes. Well, belatedly, you guys.
Here's a joke.
The Treasure of the Found Lamp was the actual birthday Beagle massacre.
Nice.
Since they changed the birthday, what was his actual name?
What was it?
It was the Beagle Massacre. I called it Great Beagle Massacre.
Yes.
They changed the name of the actual episode, Birthday Beagle Massacre, to the Birthday Beagle Breakout, because...
Massacre is not...
It's too violent, and the censors are lame. S&P. Anyway, back to this episode. I think especially starting with the Outlaw Scrooge McDuck.
Yeah.
I'll
still call it Outlaw of Scrooge.
Yeah. Certain bits have much more traditional, like, cartooniness to them. Like, in Outlaw Scrooge McDuck, it's Gyro getting knocked out. Mm-hmm. And here it's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, like, when the kids are talking, because usually, like, DuckTales isn't that, like, it's expressive, but the eyes are more, like, following, like, just circular shape, and here it's, like, big eyes and,
they go, like, they really stretch the limits of just straight up animation.
Yeah.
Like, much more just traditional, like, Looney Tunes-esqueness.
Like rubber. We see it a lot, especially with Donald.
Yes, like classic Donald type animation.
Yeah,
from the old shorts.
Yeah. So the kids go to raise the dead.
Yeah, and they do.
They do.
We see like this flash of red light. Mm-hmm. And then
immediately
hands start emerging from the ground.
Yeah.
And question 1, why does Scrooge have so many dead bodies buried on his lawn?
He kills all his enemies. Next question. Poor Donald, literally in the spot where
they pop up around him, because of course.
Yeah, and then one of them pops underneath him and just kind of like pinches his butt.
Yeah.
And I'm like, poor Donald.
He like jumps up, and then in the process of falling back down, freezes in midair, and then runs away.
Yeah.
And he's losing feathers throughout this.
Yeah. Because we see like a zombie hand grab his feather.
Yeah.
It's like, ooh.
Yeah. So, his stress is clearly going to get worse.
Yeah. Obviously, this was a reference to the Necronomicon from the Evil Dead series.
Yes.
The reference gets even more, like, pulled in later.
Yes, it does. Which is fun.
Yeah.
Like, I like when they do, like, the references like that.
Yeah, like, I was gonna watch The Evil Dead in preparation for this, but school sucks, y'all, and I'm tired.
So we come back and we see that we're back on the moon. Mm-hmm. And we see Lunaris is trying to convince Della to stay in Tranquility instead of constantly moving back and forth between Tranquility to get gold and then back to the wastes.
Yeah. And she's like, no, like, I can't really bunk with anyone. Yeah. Like, I've only ever stayed with my brother and we fought a lot.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, just casually
I just mentioned Donald. I'm like, nice. And she's like, no, thanks, but, I'm alright. I just need a little more gold, and I'll be done soon. But then they stop because she notices like this giant statue of both Lunaris and Penumbra, and
she's like, "Whoa! Like, what is that?" You know.
Lunaris explains that Penumbra was the greatest warrior against the mites, but now that there's no more mites, they kind of don't have anyone to fight anymore.
Yeah. And then,
Is it Penny?
Penumbra was our greatest warrior. Together we held the mites at bay. She is a hero of the planet Moon.
Which is technically not a planet, so Moon?
Planet Moon!
Penumbra comes in, because obviously, like, Della makes a comment about, like, the moon is not a planet, and that enrages Penumbra.
Yeah.
She comes in and she, like, grabs her, and she's
picks
like...
her up upside down.
Yeah, and she's like, it's the planet! And then...
Because Della does not seem to realize how much Penumbra hates her.
Yeah.
Like, at all.
No, she's like,
oh, hi. She's like, oh, is a moon custom to yell? Yeah. And just, yells back.
Yeah. And then, but we see that, like, Penumbra is very, like, wired. Like, she's very, like, intense.
Yeah, because Lunaris explains that since the mites, were, turned away or whatever, wasn't going to fight him anymore, Penumbra is now a warrior with no war to fight.
Yeah. Oh, it's kind of sad.
No, it is sad. It's sad. Like, we don't know for how long they live. So for however long, a while, we can assume she's been protecting her people.
Yeah.
And now there's nothing to protect them against.
Yeah.
But she's still wired to protect them from any, like, perceived threat. And right now, that's Della.
Yeah. So Della says, like, oh, wow, like, you have a vacation. Like, what are you going to do now?
Yeah.
And Penumbra's like, I'm just going to seethe.
Yeah, seethe. And drops her.
Yeah. Della being she's not, like, oblivious, but I guess she's, like,
Yeah, like, she just doesn't take it personally.
Yeah.
Like, at all.
Yeah, she's like, okay, then, like, I'm gonna go back
Yeah, she's gonna go back to work.
Which, this will kind of crack me up, like, she's like, I'm gonna go work on my spaceship, and then Penumbra's like,
oh yeah, go work on your mysterious project. She just told you what it is.
Oh,
like, spaceship.
It's not a secret, Penny.
Yeah.
I call her Penny, and I feel like she's gonna yell at me. And she immediately turns to Lunaris and is like,
like, let me just kill her, please. Yeah. She pulls her like, laser gun out. She's like, please let me kill her. Yeah. And Lunaris is like, oh, ho, ho. No. Like, please, walk with me.
Yeah. So they have a conversation.
Lunaris talks about how he thinks that Penumbra is jealous of Della.
Yeah.
She's like, fuck no, I'm not. And he's like, alright, we'll come, walk with me.
Yeah.
And they climb up on top of their statues.
Yeah.
Onto his, I think, specifically.
So now they're looking at Earth.
Yeah.
And he tells her, like, my father, what's his name?
General Meridian.
Yes, General Meridian. I wrote my... He was terrified of Earth.
Yeah. He said that he would see mysterious objects launched off of it. Which, yes.
Yeah.
We launched loads of things.
Yes. Dogs.
Sputnik.
Yeah.
Rock people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we launched it. Yeah. And so, Meridian had them hide underground. And that's why the mites became a problem.
Yeah.
Because they had to combat them for space and resources, because they were in their turf.
Yeah. That was a threat.
Yeah, I refuse to be afraid of them anymore.
Yeah,
like,
Look at Della.
Like, do you think she's a threat?
Yeah, and Della looks like she's in the ground, and she's kind of like...
Yeah, she's collecting stray bits of gold, because they have more than they know what to do with. They're just lying in the street, apparently.
And she's just, like, rubbing her eyes and stuff.
Yeah, very tired, clearly. Yeah. And Penumbra's like, well, yeah, no, she's weak and squishy, easily defeatable.
Yeah. Like, let's go for it.
Yeah. But and Lawrence is like, that's the point. Like, I'm not going to live in fear of them. There's nothing to worry about with Della.
Yeah, like, he's not going to he doesn't live in fear, she's not going to live in fear, and their people aren't going to live in fear.
Yeah, so they land down there, because Penumbra's saying, like, let's stop her before she does something. Like, before she actually becomes a threat.
Yeah.
And they land back on the ground, and they see that Della's just passed the fuck out, because she's exhausted.
Yeah.
She's been working, like, day and night, we assume, to fix the ship.
Yeah.
For who knows how long. Weeks, months.
Yeah, and he tells her, like, you know what, like, you're gonna room with her. Like, she's gonna stay with you, and that's an order.
Yeah, so she can rest and fix her ship.
Yeah.
Does Della look like a threat to you?
No, she is squishy and easily defeatable. If you would just let me.
I will not spend my life in fear of them, Penumbra. Our people will see that in time. So will you.
I tell you, she will not rest until she wreaks havoc on our planet.
Poor thing. Penumbra, she's staying with you. That's an order.
And then he turns and walks away very ominously.
Yeah. Like, I really like Lunaris, because there's bits where I'm like, maybe you're not a bad person.
Maybe you'll, like, do, like, a trick, and the person we thought was evil isn't. Yeah.
Because Lance Reddick, who does the voice, it's a really cool voice.
Yeah.
He's like a Martian Manhunter, but on the moon. He looks like him.
Yeah.
And I just, his voice is too cool for him to be a good guy.
I know. Also, like, the way, I keep telling Anna, like, the way he's designed, his helmet always casts a shadow over his eyes.
I know.
So, like, he already looks a little ominous, but then there's moments where he turns and you're like,
and the shadow makes it, I'm like, stop that. Stop that now. And so, Penumbra and Della are going to be roommates.
Yeah, they were roommates.
They were roommates.
And they were roommates.
Oh my god, they were roommates.
Which is, it's, shenanigans, as they say later.
Yes.
But yeah.
And they're back on Earth.
Yes.
And the sky's red.
Yes.
And Webby and Huey are running away from many zombies.
Yes. They're, really funny. It's kind of like Scooby-Doo style, running back and forth.
There's one zombie that runs, with a little...
Yeah, a very specific...
little legs.
Yeah.
I don't know how to describe it.
And then, Huey almost falls, but... We see him kind of stand up, and then we get our second Evil Dead reference.
Donald has a chainsaw, on his hand.
Yeah. But it looks like, the hand chainsaw thing.
Yeah, from whoever that guy is.
Ash Williams.
Sure.
Yes.
Don't know Evil Dead.
I researched.
And he's, slicing up zombies.
Yeah, there's, a funny gag when he slices one zombie, and his, upper torso, it's still moving until he realizes it.
Yeah.
And obviously there's no gore.
No. It's the zombie gets cut up.
Yeah.
And the zombie torso goes for Donald, and his brief moment of badassery ends.
Yeah.
We see Huey make the zombies go away. He, says some spell incantation thing. And they all get slid back on the ground to whatever mass grave Scrooge has under the property.
That's the first thing I'd be like, Scrooge, the fuck? Why?
So many bodies, Scrooge!
Yeah. Jeez. Well, the people that died, building up, the not walkway, but you know what I mean.
It's like Gravity Falls.
Yeah.
The, curse of the woodsman
yeah,
guys.
Building up the manor.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened. We figured it out.
But, so the torso that Donald was fighting still hangs onto his head, and it's still hanging on as the rest of the body gets dragged down on the ground.
And he tries to get up, but he can't, so the only way he can get up is by, ripping the hand off the rest of the body.
So there's just the zombie hand clinging to the back of his head.
Yeah, and he's not looking good.
No, he rips it off as he was telling him, see, everything's totally fine, we told you. Because Donald saved you from being bitten by a zombie. But
he's bald now.
Yeah, so he rips the hand off, and it takes all the feathers on top of his head with it. And it's so horrible. I hate that with the cartoon duck character.
The bald.
Yes,
yeah,
God, I hate it.
Bald birds.
I hate it so much.
That's why I hated the goddamn... Do you remember the Pixar short? Where there's birds on the wire?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the last one, he's, bald because all his feathers come off.
Oh, God, that's right.
I hate it
God.
so much.
Hate it. We see that Donald really wants to relax, and the first sign of danger to his kids, he snaps to it, even if he's exhausted or extremely stressed out immediately afterwards.
Yeah, and then he leaves, and he's like, everything is fine.
Yeah. He drags the hammock with him to find another space to go relax.
So we see him on his houseboat, and he's not doing fine.
No, they go really cartoony here with him appearing out of a horn thing.
Oh yeah.
The blow.
We'll never learn boat
It's the thing from SpongeBob. It's with his horn. It's his alarm clock.
Yeah.
The boat horn.
Yeah.
Whatever.
He's with wide eyes.
Yeah, they go
looking.
And he's pressed up against the wall, cartoony flat, and then his eyes go around the corner. Yeah, he's keeping out for any of his family who would stress him out.
Yeah, he's looking for some peace and quiet. So he has to the hammock on the deck, and before he can even blink, wait, before that he gives himself a comb over.
Yeah, the feathers. It's covered with a massive bald spot.
Oh no.
And he closes his eyes for a second before Dewey announces, "Guess who's a god now?"
If there's one of the kids that shouldn't be a god, it was Dewey.
Yes. Should not. And he's wearing some winged sandals and is flying.
Yeah. And then so Donald kind of startles up and he
turns his head 25 degrees, and Storkily is just there. It was so nice to see him again.
Because we talked about this, now the characters are in the city and they're interacting. It's nice to see the boy.
Yeah, and Storkily is saying that Dewey basically just found the sandals of Hermes
in his stuff, in his chest.
Yeah, in his chest of stuff, and he's now a god.
Intrepid Dewey bravely seized the sandals of Hermes from my chest and is now messenger of the gods. Father is most displeased.
He's just jealous because I'm the youngest Dewey on the block.
And he goes on to tell Donald that, like, that Zeus is really upset about this.
Because there's a flash of lightning.
Yeah.
And it's a tree.
Yeah.
And he's like, Father's most displeased.
And Dewey goes on to say that, like, Zeus is just jealous because he's the youngest Dewey.
Yeah. In the Pantheon or whatever. And then more lightning strikes. And then Hercules grabs Dewey, I think.
Yeah.
And Hercules then is like, Father has declared war on Dewey Duck.
And Donald is just like, oh no.
He just like slumps back onto his hammock and feathers fly in the air. And Dewey's also aware of the feather thing. He's like, oh, okay, don't worry, Uncle Donald. It's like, it'll be chill.
Yeah, it's like,
I'll fight him.
And he goes off.
He flies off with Hercules hanging off of him.
Yeah. And he's playing on my little favorite comedy. He's like, ow, the lightning burns.
Because his lightning just hitting the pool now.
The water. Like, and all the static is probably not fun.
And then it hits Donald because, insult to injury, and he falls in the pool.
So we go back to Penumbra, and she's, like, looking at her statue quite fondly.
Yeah.
But then before she can do it, relax as well, we hear Della like, hey, roomie! And then
Penumbra immediately shoots her. Like, aims and fires at her. But Della just barely ducks.
Yeah.
And Penumbra hits, like, the door to her house instead.
Yeah. And Della's, like, being Della, she's just like, oh, you like, be careful, like, you don't want to ruin your garage. I mean, our garage.
Our garage. So, yeah, Lunaris told her that Penumbra offered to let her stay.
Yeah. I'm like, aw.
And Della very much, likes Penumbra.
Yeah, she's like, it's gonna be fun. Like, two strangers from different worlds, like, getting together.
Classic odd couple.
Yeah, and then Penumbra's like, I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
So Della just kind of like, she's very...
She's making herself right at home.
Yeah.
That's the phrase, maybe.
Yes. She goes and lays down on, like, a hammock, and she, like, grabs, like, a spear from the wall, and she's just kind of chilling with it.
She's like, oh, this is your spear? It's like this gold spear, and, Penumbra saying that it was her childhood training spear.
Yeah.
And that she used it to protect her home from unwanted pests.
Mm-hmm.
And we see Penumbra's house.
Yeah.
It's cool looking. Like, there's, like, just, like, stuff. Like, just stuff just there.
Yeah.
And it's just nice, like there's knickknacks and shit.
Yeah, like, it's cute. Little hammock and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's, like, says, like, that about the spear, and then, like, Della's, like, very, like, oh, like, shit, like, we both have spears. That's really cool.
Yeah, and speaking of which, I better go work on mine.
Yeah.
And they have a little back and forth thing, which ends with Penumbra just launching her spear where Della was. Out of frustration.
Yeah, because Della keeps insisting that it's really cool that they both have spears.
Yeah.
And Penny's like, no, it's not!
Yeah.
Aw, look at your cute little spear. That was my childhood training spear. I used it to defend my home from unwanted pests. Oh, speaking of spears, I better get back to working on mine. Hey, we both have spears! That's neat. No, it isn't. Yes, it is. No, it isn't. Yes, it is. No!
It's interesting, like, Penumbra's, like, kind of hatred of Della.
Yeah.
Because, like, it's just, like, because Della poses literally no threat, but because she's different, Penumbra immediately doesn't trust her. Because, I mean, she has nothing else left to do but protect her people and then see and imagine threats where none exist.
Yeah, because Della's, like, we said before, like, Penumbra keeps acting like this plan, what she's doing is a secret, but Della's very open about
she's like, I'm really just
everything.
Fixing my ship to go home to my kids.
Yeah.
But Penumbra doesn't seem to want to acknowledge that.
Yeah, like, acknowledge, like, that, the power of motherhood.
That's right. And so we see Della is working on the ship. She's moving the pieces, it looks like, or at least steadily moving the pieces into tranquility.
Yeah.
And she's using the giant statue of Lunaris and Penumbra to, like, as an anchor, basically. Like, she's stringing up, like, the top half of the rocket there.
Yeah.
And as she's doing this, Penumbra is, like, spying on her.
Yeah.
She's saying, like, yeah, you're not gonna, like, fool anyone with your weird earthly ways. Mm-hmm. And at this moment, we see other moonlanders.
Yeah.
That's what the species is called. And I was really wondering, like a minute before this, I'm like, where are the other moon people?
Yeah.
Like, this is a whole city, right? Where are they at?
Because we see, like, it's like a little, like a suburb. There's, like, little houses and stuff.
Yeah. So I'm like, where are they at? Here, they start appearing.
Yeah, it's like a couple.
Yeah, we see, we only get the wife's name, Zenith, but the husband is Gibbous.
Yes, Gibbous.
And the husband, Gibbous, is voiced by Rob Paulson. They thought they could sneak that past me. I did not acknowledge it. Well, that's a cool voice. Yeah. And I see we paused it at the credit scene when we were first watching. I'm like, fucking Rob Paulson? Snuck him the fuck in there.
Yeah, he's like, whatever. He's playing this random moonlander.
Yeah, fucking Rob Paulson. Voice of Raphael in the 80s Turtles. Voice of Pinky from Pinky and the Brain. Voice of Donatello in the 2012 Turtles.
Gosh.
And a bunch of other shit. Yakko Warner, I think.
Yeah.
Right, Yakko, yeah. The tall one.
I think so.
I think Wacko's the little small one. Like,
no idea.
Very prolific voice actor, and they thought they would sneak him in.
Another case of he walked by the recording.
Yeah, they're like, Rob, get in here. Don't want to voice the Blue Moon guy?
Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, the designs are like cute because we see him like he's also wearing like his little gold clothing, but he's kind of like baldy.
Yeah.
And his wife is like wearing like an updo and stuff. She's like cool.
His wife is voiced by Zenith, is voiced by April Winchell. Also thought they could sneak that past me. April Winchell previously voiced Black Heron on this on DuckTales, and so I'm like, how dare you think you could sneak them past me?
But yeah, so they show up and he's like, oh, you know, like. You're the hero who's, like, saved us with her earthly ways.
Yeah. The compassion. Like, is that, like, an earth weapon? And she explained that, no, she's just a mom trying to get back to her kids. Yeah. And both Gibbous and Zenith are very touched. Like, oh, damn. Yeah. Like, well, you helped us. Like, let us help you. Mm-hmm. And she's like, oh, shit, really? Thanks.
Yeah, so they help her because she was kind of struggling to, like, put the top piece of the rocket, like, up. Yeah. So they help her, like, lift it up.
Yeah.
Really nice.
And Penumbra's watching this like, what the fuck? Why are you helping her?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I heard you beat the mite with compassion. Is that some fancy earth-fighting technique?
No, I'm just a mom trying to get home to see her kids.
You gave us so much.
We would be honored to help you in any way.
Really? Thanks. Has everyone gone crazy? Why are you helping her? Oh!
Yeah, so she's very upset by the fact that no one else seems to see the threat she poses. Mm. Like, Della has moved more pieces of the rocket, so we don't know how much time has passed.
Yeah, but it's mostly, it's like kind of like she has
like a ramp, like...
Yeah, there's a... Scaffolding all around it, and it's kind of like being held up by the statue.
Yeah, so there's steadily more and more pieces being added. Like, she's bringing from the waste, and there she's adding to it. Mm-hmm. And we see that she's just talking to Zenith and Gibbous about Earth.
Yeah, she's specifically telling them about, like, how, I guess she thwarted the Beagle Boys from robbing a bank or something. Yeah. And she mentions that she, like, tied them up and, like, hung them from the bank.
Rafters.
Yeah, like a yo-yo. Yeah. And that makes them, like, Gibbous is really curious. Like, what is that?
Wait, they're like, oh, what is a yo-yo? And Della doesn't really super explain what a yo-yo is. She's like, oh, you do tricks with it? I'm like, say it's a toy. Explain.
Yeah. She's like, oh, like, walk the dog. And they're like, oh, that's cool. What's the dog?
Yeah, what is a dog? And Penumbra is still watching, but by now she's thinking that Della is trying to convince them with lies about how much better Earth is than the moon. Yeah. When she's just telling them about the Earth.
Like Della's probably backed up on talking.
Yeah, oh my god. Like, she's had no one to talk to but, like, a camera for 10 years. Yeah. I'd be like, fuck people! I don't care if you're blue.
But yeah, she's just, she's very friendly.
Yeah. And because Penumbra's like, well, I'm gonna fucking show him. Yeah. Like, the moon is way better. And she walks over, and the moon is kind of barren, so I wouldn't say so. But...
you're siding on Earth.
Wait, do they eat gold?
I wouldn't put it past them. I mean, humans do. And then they poop it out and it looks exactly the same. That's
what the fuck?
Yeah, you can't digest gold. So when people put it, like, on their fancy, like, sundaes or, like, their fancy...
Fuck, you can actually eat it?
It's like, if you eat, like, the foil, it has to be really, really flat.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can eat it. It's not...
So it won't, like, fucking kill you?
No. It just doesn't...
As long as it's not, like, a chunk of gold.
As long as you don't grab, like, a stone and eat the whole thing. You'll choke on that.
Yeah.
No, it's more...
And, like, your intestines. That'd be a whole mess.
Yeah, unless you want to pass a stone, literally.
Oh, God.
No. Yeah, like, people, like, eat,
That's
like, gold flakes on their, like, $1,000 sundae.
Right.
Yeah.
Damn. Fuck those guys.
You can buy, like, little sheets of gold foil for, like, $20 on Amazon.
What?
And if you want, you just, like,
I want to fucking do that!
Roll it up and eat it!
I would just roll it into a ball, like, this is a ball of gold. Just crumple it up.
Offer it to all your Scrooge, like, statues.
An offering.
It's an offering.
Oh my god, I want to buy some fucking gold foil. Fuck that shit.
I had a sheet of it. I don't know why.
Fuck.
Like, I'd
buy it.
Yeah.
I'll just crumple it into a ball. I'm like, this is a crumpled up ball of gold.
Yeah.
Just cause.
For the fuck of it.
Yeah.
Some people, maybe they do eat it. I don't know.
I don't know. I can't remember if they say they eat it or not in, like, the whatever happened to Della duck. I might be confusing it with... No, I'm not. I was thinking about, like, Wakanda, that they use the vibranium and everything, but they don't eat vibranium.
I want to see a scene where they just take a chunk out of it.
I mean, like the flakes and shit, but I don't think you can eat vibranium.
No, I think that one would really fuck you up.
Yeah.
That could be a fun prank Bucky pulls. To eat some.
Well, I mean, the vibranium was the thing that made what's it called? The purple flower thing.
I don't remember.
Fuck. The Black Panther purple heart.
Do you want to Google it? Is it called literally Purple Heart?
No. Should I Google it?
Yeah, Google it. Hacker noises.
Type. Okay. Heart-shaped herb. Like the heart-shaped herb.
Yeah.
So I mean that was caused by the vibranium. The heart-shaped herb was the result of vibranium hitting the earth because they set up like in the movie that it changed like the landscape and the animals.
Yeah.
But you can't eat it. I mean when they mash up the heart-shaped herb and he like eats it, it like almost kills him for a couple seconds before T'Challa's chill.
Maybe like a little bit. Like you dry it up like oregano.
Okay, then you can't eat vibranium.
Okay.
Like the one
that we figured that out.
One comic where Captain America eats his shield just to eat it or he'll die. Okay, this went off on a weird tangent. Like anyway,
someone that works in the show. Do they
eat gold? I need to know this now. What else do they eat?
Oh my god, rocks. Other rocks.
Oh my god. Anyway, so we see Penumbra what kind of walks up like, "Hey, Rumi," and talks about how how the moon is vastly superior to Earth, and Della's like, "Aw, we can both be great."
Yeah, but she goes on to say like the moon, Earth. You know how the moon revolves or orbits around
the Earth,
and that makes Penumbra really angry. So she fires
at Della with her laser gun, but it bounces off one of the gold scaffolding and causes a fire outside her house. And
then Penny was like, shenanigans.
Yeah, because Gibbous and Zenith look at her like,
what the fuck?
And she's like, shenanigans. Yeah. Because earlier, Della, when she sees Penumbra, jumps down and jumps on her back.
Yeah, and she's like, oh, do I sense a shenanigan happening?
Yeah.
And Penny's like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, she excuses her trying to kill her.
Yeah.
With shenanigans. Because she clearly puts her gun away.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because she's like, because the moon has everything you could possibly want, right?
Yeah. And then Zenith is like, well, I thought so, but Earth is interesting.
Yeah, Earth sounds interesting. She's like, Zenith asks Della, why she likes it so much. What do you like about Earth?
Yeah, and then Della's very mostly because of my family.
Yeah.
They're there, but also just Earth just has so many wonders, both
she's
big
pyramid,
and small.
Humpback whale, slat bracelets.
And they're like, what? Like, what's that?
I think someone else comes up, right? Another
yes.
moon lady. Palace.
Palace,
right?
yes.
She's like, what is a slapping bracelet? And Della just has one, because they're a fun thing to have.
They do, you have a ton.
I do have a ton, but that's for a different reason.
And she gives it to her. She puts it on Palace's wrist. And she's like, oh, wow.
And at first, Penumbra's like, she gets her gun out again, like, oh, fuck. What is this?
Mind control bracelet.
Yeah. But just puts it on, and Palace is like, oh, shit, this is the coolest thing ever.
Yeah, and then Penumbra's like, well, like, she says it was the coolest fashion. Like,
yes.
And Penumbra's like, we have, like, matching gold outfits. Like, that's cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, too. But we see Zenith and Gibbous walk closer to hear Della talk more about her.
Yeah.
And because the Earth has wonders large and small, the pyramids, the humpback whale, slap bracelets. What is a slapping bracelets? Observe. I've never seen anything so stylish. Hello? We have matching outfits made of gold. The Earth is beautiful. When I get back, I'm gonna show my boys every inch of it. It'll be like I never left.
Because she's talking about how when she gets back to Earth, she's gonna show her boys, like, everything. It'll be like she never left. And this is where it gets sad.
Oh no, because she goes on to say, like, we're like, work together.
Yes.
We're gonna go and, like, conquer Mount Everest. We're gonna go, like, unearth the lost pyramid of... Tothra, yeah.
Yeah, and, like, woof. Because obviously these are things her family's already done.
Yes.
And it's like, so, those little hints that maybe she might be in for a rude awakening when she gets back home, because it won't be like she never left.
Yeah.
Because...
She left.
She left.
Her boys are 10, 11 years old, and they never knew her.
They never knew her. All I know is that she did leave.
Mm-hmm.
And... Wah, wah.
But she goes on to say, like, my family, like, is fearless. Like, we're intense.
Yeah, we're gonna do everything. When then we go back to Earth with Donald, Hercules, and Dewey facing off against Zeus.
Yes.
Michael Chiklis again coming back for Zeus.
And Donald's being used as, like, the ammunition in a slingshot.
Yeah, with the hammer as the slingshot. Yeah. And Zeus fires lightning at them again, and Donald's like, no, I'm out. I'm gone.
Yeah.
But then, dumbass Dewey is like, I will face my fellow god in a manner befitting Olympus. And he just goes up to Zeus with a winged sandals like, hey Zeus, you a sting.
Zeus is like, I do not.
You do. And then he starts firing labels at a child. Yeah. And Donald's like, fuck it, launch me. To Hercules. And Hercules launches him at Zeus.
Yeah. So
who's floating on a cloud over the pool.
Yeah, and you don't see, like, his lower body, it's just, like, his upper body.
Yeah, in this cloud.
So it's funny. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh.
And these cuts, I don't see them as... I mean, they kind of parallel what's going on, just it's more of, like... We see what Donald's up to. Yeah. And we see what Della's up to. Yeah. Because it's going to matter for the end of the episode what they're up to.
Yes. We see, like... Sort of maybe, like, Donald's point of view of just living life.
Yeah, because, I mean, Donald hasn't adventured in a while. And suddenly they're back in the adventuring lifestyle, and Donald is extremely stressed. His anxiety is out, like, off the charts, because, and it's also around his kids.
Yeah,
really.
Yeah, because, I mean... Even if he trusts them, even if they tell them, like, they keep repeating, like, don't worry. It's like, obviously he's gonna worry. He's, like, a Perry's dad. Like, they obviously don't got it, because Dewey literally just, like, went to taunt God.
Yeah, he's dad. Woogie.
You are my dad. You're my dad. Woogie.
So it's,
But yeah, just the fact that I'm sure his stress now is worse than it's been in a very long time because they're adventuring again, and his kids' lives are constantly in danger, and he feels he has to constantly intervene to protect them.
Yeah, because back when he was probably adventuring before, it was just worrying about him or worrying about him and Della, but it wasn't like
his kids.
Yeah, kids, and the other people that are also like in this fucking mess, like his Hercules.
Yeah. So just interesting with how Donald's doing.
Yeah. So we go back to the moon, and
Penumbra is doing target practice with a drawing of Della on a rock, She's throwing her spear at it very, very hard.
Yes, she's like impaling it multiple times.
Yes. I think the last time she gets it in the drawing's face.
Yes.
And she's just pissed that people are listening to her. And but as she's doing this, she hears like a loud gasp from a crowd of Moonlanders. Yeah. And she thinks that
like something's finally happened.
Yeah, that Della sprung her trap. So Penumbra goes running to see what all the commotion is, and there's a very large crowd of Moonlanders now.
Yeah.
Gathered around the spear, and a lot of them are helping Della build it now.
Yeah, they're like working because she's like working on like electric parts, like wires and stuff, and they're kind of just like adding pieces to it.
Yeah, they're flattening out gold, whatever, and adding it. And she's telling them the story about the time she defeated the Gilded Man in El Dorado, who was apparently just this like monster thing.
Yeah.
That was tearing through El Dorado.
Yeah, she described him like a bionic man.
Yeah. And the Gilded Man is a reference to two comics, one by Carl Barks. The Gilded Man was a 32-page comic made of a bunch of parts. One of them was the Gilded Man story. So this was made by Carl Barks in 1952. And then the Gilded Man comes up again in a Don Rosa comic called The Last Lord of El Dorado that was published in 1998. So this is a Donald Duck comic, not a Scrooge McDuck one. So the Scrooge McDuck is there.
Yeah.
Because of course he is. And the Gilded Man is like this myth. Yeah, so it looks like these legends by the Spanish Empire kind of evolved about El Dorado, changed over time, and from being a man to a city to a kingdom, and then finally it became like an empire. So it's like a myth. There's like the whole idea of about like Latin America, about it being full of gold.
Yeah, like you were gonna go in cities of gold and like gold-plated streets and all of this stuff.
Yeah, so it looks like in the Scrooge comics, the Gilded Man is an actual man made of gold who looks like protects El Dorado. It looks like. But so Della's telling this very like engaging story. She's like making the noises.
Yeah, a really good storyteller.
Yes, she is. Like Scrooge. It reminds me a lot of Scrooge, like with his very like what's the word?
Like mannerisms?
Like, just like his way of storytelling, very engaging.
Yeah.
Like storytelling.
Because she knows she's working, but she's also and everyone else is working, but like she gets to like the story's climax and everyone like stops to look at her like, damn, like that's really good.
And Penumbra's watching all this too.
Yeah.
And she finally beat this mythical like beast thing. We see Zenith clap pauses in her work with them putting bolting like metal gold sheets to the ship, talking about like, oh wow, like nothing that exciting ever happens in Tranquility.
Yeah, and we see at this point like Penumbra has also gone up the statue. She's kind of like above everyone else, and she's like, that like it's called Tranquility. Yeah, Tranquility.
It's not like evil robot land.
Yeah.
And Penumbra goes to like spear her, but Daenerys followed her and catches it with like his two fingers.
Yeah.
And he's like, I would like Della to have like a pleasant stay here.
Yeah.
I don't think getting speared would be very pleasant.
And he's like, or is it? And she's kind of like, no. And but oh my god.
But he's insisting that Della not be harmed. But and Penumbra is telling him though that she's filling their heads with lies.
Yeah.
They're the Moonlanders.
Yeah, and she says, like, she's making me, and she's like, she's making us, the moon, look bad.
Yeah,
and,
look inferior.
Yeah, and Daenerys is like, she's just sharing her culture. Yeah.
Which, and I'm like, he's acting very reasonably. Maybe he's not evil.
But, like, now that I think about it, like, he just kind of shows up out of nowhere. Yeah. And very convenient.
Yes, because he wants to make sure no harm comes to Della.
Yes.
And he's telling her, like, she's showing her culture, like this rocket.
Yes.
And he walks over to the open, like, front hatch.
Which only has, like, one little seat, and it's kind of, like, vertical to the rocket.
Yeah.
And all, like, the buttons are there, and he's, like, we get to see, like, again, his shadow covers his eyes.
Yes.
But he also looks very, like, menacingly.
Yeah, he kind of
And he's
does.
like, yeah, like, look at this, like, intricate design. Like, she can just press one button.
Yeah.
And
he points it out.
Yeah.
And she'll be launching off into space.
Yeah. And I'm like, wow. Impressive.
And so he's very impressed by this, and he's talking about how impressive it is. And he's like, remarkable, isn't it? Yeah. And looking kind of
It's like he's goading her.
Yeah, no, he literally is. And he's pointing out the thing and everything.
Yeah.
And he walks on, and Penumbra keeps looking at it.
So intricate, yet so simple. Why, all she has to do is flip this little switch to launch the spear into space. Remarkable.
And then we go back to Earth, where Zeus, king of the gods, was beaten by a 10-year-old child and his aerodynamic dad.
And he's stuck. He's like, well, I consider this a victory. And he leaves.
And he floats off like he's whining as he does it. And he just leaves. He floats off.
Yeah.
And we see that Donald comes back from where he was slingshotted. Mm-hmm. And he's losing more feathers.
Yeah, and like Circulus catches him, and he's praising him, but Donald is just like dead. Mm-hmm. And he's just... Donald is... At this point, he keeps repeating, like, that everything is fine.
Yeah, everything's fine. Yeah. He bundles up his hammock and goes inside the mansion. Into Scrooge's room.
Yes.
And then into Scrooge's closet. And he ties up the hammock in there.
Yeah, it's like really tiny.
Yeah.
And then, but like before he can even do he can't even like sit on a hammock now.
Yeah, also, Donald has no feathers on his head or neck.
Yeah, like his chest is just bald.
Yeah, it's awful.
I feel very bad.
Yeah. And then Scrooge bursts in. He's like, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
But he's not talking to Donald.
No.
And he's not talking to Louie, who is checking Scrooge's pockets.
For spare $1 million bills.
Yeah, because they're in Scrooge's closet, like we said.
But she has other clothes that he never wears.
Yeah, I'm like, Scrooge, bring some variety into your wardrobe.
Bring this, like brown, like, jacket with, like, gold cuffs.
Yeah, Scrooge, come on. But he's not talking to either of them.
No.
He's talking to this fucking goat.
Yes.
That's standing in between them.
Yeah. It's kind of adorable. It's little. It has, like, green glowing eyes.
Yeah. And so he goes up to the goat and he asks it why it's trespassing. And the goat starts talking.
Yes.
Saying that I'm not a goat. This is merely my terrestrial form. I am from the realm of Goat-Hool. And he starts floating.
Yes, and then this green swirling portal opens up behind him.
Yeah, and he's from a kingdom, like a land full of, like, where, adventurers become kings, and there's treasure everywhere, and there's petulant orcs. And
he's just there to bring them for adventure.
I don't know.
Well,
Scrooge does not care why they're in his closet.
No.
Like, he doesn't even... He's looking at the fucking goat, as I guess he's been looking for.
Like, do you hear the claw? He's, like, eating food, and he's like, this clomping.
Like,
what the fuck is that?
The goat. It's here.
And this goat is just like your minds can't comprehend my true form.
Yeah, he's like, enter if ye be worthy, and it like vanishes into the portal.
Yeah,
and Louis immediately jumps in.
Yeah, he's like treasure. Yeah, and then Scrooge like does a pose, and he's like
adventure.
Yeah,
and then Donald gets dragged in.
Yeah, he's like just
by the portal magic stuff sucks him in.
He tries.
Yeah, he tries to hold onto his hammock, but no.
And the laws of man do not apply in the ethereal realm of Goat-Hool. A netherworld of treasures untold and petulant orcs. Enter nobles, and ye shall be kings.
Kings! Treasure!
And we see we're back on the moon. Mm-hmm. And we see Della has more of the spear sling put together.
Yeah. Like, a lot.
Yeah, a lot of it, yeah. There's
just, finished it.
Yeah, there's some outer pieces, it looks like. Just like layers of metal sheets that she needs to add for, like, support or whatever.
But, like, the engine is working.
Yes, because that wakes her up. That wakes Penumbra up.
Yeah, and we see Penumbra's hair.
Yeah, she has hair! I believe, I think it was Sam King's idea to give her this hair design. Yeah. It's based on Brienne of Tarth. Mm-hmm. I think is the name of the character from Game of Thrones.
Yeah, what's her actress's name?
Oh, fuck. Brienne of Tarth, actress. Yeah. I got the name right, too.
Brienne of Tarth was played by Gwendolyn Christie.
Oh, shit.
Thank you, Google. Yeah, so she's great.
Yeah, it's like
both
white.
Gwendolyn Christie and Penumbra.
Yes.
Gwendolyn Christie's very tall.
She is. I love looking at all the pictures of her with the rest of the Star Wars cast.
Yes.
And everyone, like, kind of, like, average height, and she just towers over them.
And she wears heels. I'm like, yes.
That picture of her with Oscar Isaac.
Yes!
I'm like...
I love that. Love that.
Love it.
Love both of them.
Yes.
Anyway, this is a tangent.
our love for tall women. But yeah. So she's like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah, what's happening? So she puts her helmet on, grabs her spear, and she runs outside. And we see like, a lot of the Moonlanders have gathered.
Yeah.
Because Della's just like in disbelief, like it's working. The engine works.
And like so many people are gathered, and I don't know if we mentioned, like they look really fun and cool. Like,
yeah, they have fun designs. Yeah.
Props for this like team not using like generic for their background characters ever.
Yeah, ever really. Like I mean, we'll see same background characters every so often, but it's still like a variety of them.
Yeah.
And that's really fun. Like and actually like really like in-depth background design for background characters.
We didn't mention like in Outlaw Scrooge McDuck. There was one lady who like looks like the other she's a duck with, like, the victory roll that always appears in, like, the older flashbacks. Yeah. And there's, like, I guess, like, an ancestor of hers that was on the train, because she looks a lot like her.
Oh, shit.
I was like, oh, shit.
That's fun.
And I think someone that works on the cast is, like, one of these aliens as well.
Yes, I think it's Jason Zurich.
Yeah. He's, like, a little short.
Yeah, with, like, I saw him briefly.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's one of the aliens. It's just Jason Zurich, apparently.
Yeah. He's really cute.
The director.
Yes.
Jason Zurich. I wanted to double check.
But yeah.
And we see, so Della thanks them all for helping her.
Yeah, she's really touched and, like, overwhelmed, probably.
I see Penumbra's still pissed. Yeah. Because she's like, if you like Earth so much, because they're all like, Earth! Because they're really happy for Della. And Penumbra's like, well, if you like Earth so much, why don't you just fucking go?
It reminded me of, like, if you like it so much, why don't you marry it?
Yeah, literally, like, she's so jealous.
Yeah.
And immediately the Moonlanders are like, oh fuck, can we go?
Yeah, and Della's like, oh, like, the ship is too small, and we saw, like, it looks like it's just, like, the one tiny main part, maybe there's more compartments, but it's a very small ship.
Yeah. But the Moonlanders are a little bit hurt. They're like, oh, like, was something we did? Like, are you embarrassed about it? Like, do we embarrass you?
Well, it's because Penumbra goads them.
Yes, she does.
She puts, like, a wrench in the thing, because she says, like, oh no, like, Della's the great, like, she's so great, like, she can do it, like, she can manage.
Well, at first she's like, well, doesn't she call, like, a liar?
Yeah.
And, like,
yeah,
and she snores.
She's so petty about, like, the little roommate
Yeah.
But yeah, because she's telling, like, no, like, she could do it, like, so they start to say, like, oh, was it something we did then?
Yeah.
And she's like, no, like, it just really, like...
I really like the actual science of it, I can't fit you in the ship. But then, Penumbra goads both the Moonlanders and Della. Because they start walking off kind of disappointed.
Yeah, because even, like...
very, very disappointed, because they want to get out of here.
Yeah. And then, so, like, Penumbra says it again, like, oh, you know, like, I thought nothing could stop the amazing, like, Della Duck, you know, she's just a failure.
Yeah.
I wish I could take all of you, but the spear is too small. There's no way you'd all fit. But the great hero can do anything. Surely she could do it if she wanted to.
Was it something I did? Was it something you did?
Are you embarrassed by our primitive moon ways?
No, I really wish I could take you, but it's just not possible. I thought nothing could stop the amazing Della Duck.
And then Della, being Della, she's like, oh, you know, like, you know, maybe I can.
Yeah, she's like, I mean, I learned rocket science to fix this thing. Why can't I fit you? Because it looks like this kind of technology doesn't exist on the moon. Like, the rockets don't, like, this concept doesn't exist. Like, Lunaris expressed, like, disbelief and, like, a little bit of, like, confusion about, like the objects being launched off the Earth. Yeah. Like, he didn't believe it was a thing. Like, his father, he said that his father, like, thought he saw objects. His father said he saw objects being launched from the Earth.
But it's like, whatever.
Yeah.
So maybe they are from here, like, I know we were talking about, they came from another place.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because if they don't really know what spaceships are, they couldn't have been from somewhere else. Yeah, you're right. Never mind.
Damn.
Yeah. All right.
No, but yeah, like Della's like very much like, you know what, like we can do it, and you know the Moonlanders are starting to be like, okay. Yeah. But Penny's like, fuck.
Oh shit! Like this blew up in my face. Because I think I mean, even if Della couldn't like fix her alter her ship to fit them, she could at least build more ships.
Yeah.
Or, like, give them the designs to build more ships or something like that, I guess. But But she is saying that, why can't I fit you all in the spear?
Yeah.
So I don't know how she would, considering there's a good number of them.
Yeah, there's like 20, 30 maybe.
Yeah, at least here, that are gathered.
And she says, like, pack your bags.
Yeah, we're going to Earth. And they're all like, yeah, shit.
Oh, yeah.
And Penumbra's so pissed, she tears, what's the word?
Snaps
her spear in half.
Mm-hmm. Oh my fuck.
Yeah. Maybe she can make trips back from the Earth and back.
Yeah, like take some people.
Yeah.
Then come back. Because now she has gold.
Yes. So it's like, yeah. And then back on Earth, we see Scrooge, Louie, and Donald, like, being thrown out of this portal.
Yes.
And Scrooge has he's giving some, like, end of the adventure lesson.
Yeah.
Like, you see, Louie, the true royalty is found within, or something.
Mm-hmm. And then so Louis, he's wearing, like, a crown. And he's like, so the king's not gonna mind that I have his crown.
Yeah.
And then someone, like, takes the crown.
A goat hoof comes in and just snatches it back. And Donald got thrown out of the portal.
Yes. And he's not looking well.
Like, he looks awful. He is, like, curled up, babbling on the ground. He is so stressed out.
He's still saying, like, it's fine, everything's fine, it's fine, it's fine. And it's very much not. And the breaking point is that the rest of the kids burst in
yelling about random crazy shit.
Don't even know.
And I was looking at the captions and I'm like, what the hell? Someone said they need a herd of camels. That's one of the ones I read, so who knows.
Oh my gosh.
But Donald just realizes, he says, okay, everything is not fine.
Yeah, and
I'm not okay.
No, he just grabs his hammock and he drags it in and walks out the door.
And the door closes behind him and more feathers go flying.
Yeah.
And the kids all go quiet when Donald doesn't react to them. When he doesn't answer them or look at them.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, Uncle Donald?
Yeah.
Like, are you alright?
Yeah.
And no, he's not. And then so we go back to the moon.
Yeah.
And we see General... my favorite bit of this episode, General Lunaris very, like, hesitantly starting to bring a slap bracelet to his wrist.
And then Penumbra walks in and she grabs it and slaps it on his wrist.
And he's like, Lieutenant! He's like, oh God!
I mean, they are startling. They're literally usually made from pieces of old, like, measuring tape.
Jesus, really?
Yeah.
God, it's terrifying.
You've never peeled one?
No.
Yeah, they're made of pieces.
They have fun designs.
Yeah, but then if you peel it off, it's just measuring
I don't want to imagine that. I hate that now. I hate that I know that now.
I think that's why some schools would ban them, because, like, kids would take off the thing and then just hit each other with, like, old measuring
Jesus.
tape. Yeah.
Yeah, that scene made me think that maybe Lunaris was not evil.
Yeah.
It was a cute scene.
They keep giving you bits of hope where he's like, oh, like, it's just her culture, but then he immediately goes and turns around.
Yeah.
And it's ominous.
Penumbra is, like, ranting to Lunaris about how, like, Della is brainwashed them. She's gonna get them killed.
Yeah. She's literally saying, like, it's a mass exodus. Like, they're gonna leave the planet.
Yeah, because Lunaris, he's like a throne kind of thing. So he's like the leader. He gets up and he's like, hey, what's going on?
Yeah.
And when she tells him what's happening, he's like, well, we have to let our people make their own decisions. We can't force them to do anything.
Yeah. And she's like, it's dangerous, though. Yeah.
And as she's, like, bad-mouthing Della walks up behind them.
Yeah, she's saying that she's gonna ruin tranquility.
Yeah. And Della walks up behind them, and we see that Della noticed, or found, Penumbra's spear that she'd...
Yeah, snapped
in half. And she fixed it.
Yeah. She's like, you helped me fix my spear.
Yeah.
It's only, like... the word. It's only right.
Yeah, it's only right that I fix yours.
Yeah, and she gives it to her. And
she shows them, like, the portrait of her, Donald, Scrooge, and the kids, and then she flips it over, and, like, these are my kids.
Yeah.
Like, the drawing she has of them.
Yeah.
She's like, their heads don't look like eggplants. I'm a bad artist.
But she says, like, like, you've given me a chance to be a good mom.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And she's telling him how she understands, like, what it's like to have to trust people that you don't know, you can't see with your family.
Yeah.
And she's like, she promises Penumbra that she will keep her people safe.
Yeah, like, she knows what it's like to be separated by, like, your people. Yeah. And, even though Della's not going to be not, like, the best protector as, like, Penumbra is. Yeah. She's going to do her best.
Yeah.
I know what it's like to be separated from your people, to be forced to trust someone else to protect them. No one could ever protect your people as well as you, Penny. But as long as they're with me, I'll try with all I've got. I promise.
And, Penumbra's kind of, like, thinking about it.
Yeah, Penumbra's like, oh, damn. All right, maybe I've been a dick.
Yeah. I'm so stressed for Donald.
I know, oh my god, just watching him lose his feathers, I'm like, oh my god, this is stressing me out too much. No.
And then it only gets worse.
Yeah, it's good.
Because he's literally so, like, traumatized by the day that it's been. Yeah. That he's, like, putting away his, like, prescription.
He throws it away.
Yeah.
He puts it back in a box, throws it away. He's like, there's no point. Yeah. I'll never be calm ever again. I'll never relax.
And he goes to, like, lay on his actual bed hammock.
Yeah.
And immediately there's a knock on the door.
And he flips. He's like, oh god, the kids. And he goes to yank to throw it open. Yeah. And it is the kids with Scrooge and Ella Storkeleys there too.
He doesn't say anything and we only see his, like, lower chest. But we don't really, he's not in frame, he's too tall.
No. We see the kids, Dewey and Scrooge wearing party hats. Yeah. And they're holding a little banner that says Bon Voyage. Yeah. And they throw confetti. And Donald is like, what's going on? Yeah. And they tell him that they often, are difficult and make his life stressful.
And Dewey says that, sometimes we do it on purpose.
Yeah.
So, like, you guys are shit.
Yes. I mean, they admit that sometimes they purposely stress him out. But they tell him that he needs a break. Yeah. And so Scrooge has reserved him a month-long cruise on the SS 40 Winks. Yes. Which, we see the pamphlet, is meant for overworked parents. It says, overworked parents, we pamper you. And there's 5,000 varieties of hammocks.
I love it.
We've mastered the art of relaxation. The views are sumptuous. The accommodations are luxurious. And the hammocks are abundant.
And he, like Webby says, there's no phones. Yes. There are no adventures. And just, again, lots of hammocks.
Yes.
And Donald's like, this is nice, but, like, I can't leave the boys.
Yeah. Who's going to take care of them? Yeah. Which they reply, like, we have a whole family now. There's Scrooge, Beakley, more importantly.
Yes, Beakley. Launchpad?
I'm not sure who I trust more, Storkeleys or Launchpad.
I trust Storkeleys.
Probably. He could protect them a lot better. Against, like, danger.
Yeah.
And Scrooge also says, like, go. Like, and I'm also, I don't want to give a charity to layabout cruise companies.
Oh my god.
Thanks, but I can't leave the boys. Who's gonna keep you out of trouble?
We have an entire family to keep us safe.
Go relax. Plus, the cruise is non-refundable, and I will not give charity to layabout cruise companies. Do you hear me, lad?
But you would talk Scrooge, Disney cruises.
Well, Scrooge does care about Donald. He does want Donald to go on this, though. Mm-hmm. Like, he is also worried about him. Yeah. And he puts his party hat on Donald's head. He's
covered like,
he's like, oh shit, yeah.
And the kids hug him, and it's a sweet scene.
Yeah, okay, so because Donald is going to go on this cruise. Because he fucking needs it. I wish he could have gone.
No.
And we're back on the moon, and we see Penumbra's. Okay, so maybe Della's not the worst, but she's still taking my people, so that's still not chill.
Yeah.
And I wish she would just leave.
And like she right now.
Yes, and she throws her spear, and that gives her an idea, because it goes flying off into space.
Yeah, like, your spear!
Yeah, like, dude, you snap it in half, and you launch it into space, that's gone now, that's gone.
Your childhood spear, Penumbra!
Yeah. And we see that Penumbra, like, while Della's sleeping, takes her to the rocket, and she starts the emergency launch.
Yeah, and it counts down from, like, 60.
Yeah.
And things are going haywire, and she wakes up, like, Della,
like, she wakes Della up, like, something happened, and Della's like, oh, what the fuck's happening? And, I mean, everything's happening too fast for her to question, like, why am I out here?
Yeah.
Like, whatever.
what are you doing here?
Yes.
What happened?
Because the countdown has started, and she can't reverse it.
Yeah, it's an emergency launch.
Yeah.
And, Penumbra's like, just go. And because Della's like, I can't stop it.
And Penumbra's like, so just go. Yeah. But Della's insisting, like, what about the others? I promised them they'd come with me.
Yeah.
And then
Lunaris the creep.
Lunaris is just there now.
Yeah.
Like maybe he expected this to happen.
Yes, or he's just been following them every step of the way. Because,
Probably, yeah. And he's there saying that they'll build more. Yes. And he's looking very, like, concerned and genuine, telling Della, like...
Big old worried eyes.
Yes, he's like, give me the plans, and we'll build a whole fleet and follow you to Earth.
Yeah. And, you know, like, that way you won't, like, leave the people behind. Yeah. And you'll be good.
Yeah.
Give me the plans for the ship. We'll build a fleet and we'll follow you to Earth shortly. You've inspired my people, Della. Let me return the favor.
And Della considers it for a bit, but does hand the plans over.
Yeah, and you know, Lunaris is like,
he's like, thank you. Like, he tells her how she's inspired his people. He's like, let us, like,
return the favor.
Yes.
And Della, I love you, but you're a dumbass.
Yeah. Yeah, and
big Dewey energy.
Big Dewey energy with her obliviousness to Penumbra hating her.
Yes, and just
because she hugs Penumbra before she leaves. Like it's kind of from like 5. I'm like, dude, go!
Get the ship.
She hugs her, hops in the ship, and she's gone. And she's just flying to Earth, like she's gone.
At this point, I was still in shock that she was gonna get there.
Yeah, I'm like, oh shit, she's just gone now. Shit.
I was like, it's gonna explode.
She's dead.
I was like, I doubt that. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
She's actually gone and going back to Earth. What the hell?
And then we see that Lunaris shoots himself in the arm.
Yes. And Penny's like, Penumbra's like, what?
She's like, sir, what are you doing?
Yeah.
He turns around with this, like, kind of evil grin.
Mm-hmm. Kind of.
It's very evil grin.
Evil. And we see, like, the people obviously heard, like, the rocket taking off.
Yeah. And we see Gibbous with his, his bags. He packed his bags. And we see that Lunaris immediately starts lying to them.
Yes.
He had this whole evil scheme that he was concocting. And he tells them that Della betrayed them.
Yes. So he left them behind. Like, he used them, basically. Yeah. We're going to put bits of the speech, obviously, because the way he delivers it is amazing.
Lance Reddick does a really good job as Lunaris. It's such a cool voice.
Yeah. Because, he's overlooking them. And the people are obviously upset. Because he says, like, like, she used, like, tales of her people and her family and all of these things.
To get sympathy from us, so we'd help her.
Yeah.
And,
now that we helped her, like, she betrayed us. Betrayed you. And it's like, ooh.
Yeah, saying how that, and she thinks she was actually the first wave of an invasion.
Yeah.
And that when I tried to stop her, she shot me in the arm. Mm-hmm. But I was able to wrestle the plans from her, so we'll build a whole fleet and follow them to Earth to prove that the moon is the greatest planet in the universe.
Mm-hmm. And I'm like, fuck. And all the while we get shots of Penumbra and she's looking like...
Yeah, like, what the fuck is happening?
An elaborate deception.
Oh, no!
But why?
Because she was just the first wave of a bigger attack. She lied to us so that she could get back to tell her fellow Earthers that we are weak, soft, primed for an invasion. But are we going to hide down here and wait to be invaded?
No!
Or are we going to take these plans that I wrestled away from the traitor as she fled and use them to build a fleet of ships and invade them first?
Yes!
And prove that the moon is the greatest planet in the universe!
Yes!
We are the mighty! We are the moon!
Because he's very convincing and it's so, like, because he says things, like, that are very shocking in the sense that he was so chill about, like, the moon versus Earth debate.
Yeah, about he never really commented on it. It was Penumbra getting upset about it. But we see that he was pissed about it too. He's like, the moon is a planet, and it's the best planet. Mm-hmm. So we're going to go out and prove it is the best one by conquering Earth.
He's like, we're not going to be afraid, like, we're going to go to this place. Yeah. And I'm like, what the actual fuck?
Yeah. So, like, really good with Lunaris. Like, I guessed he was bad, just because... I'm like, I don't trust you. Your voice is too cool.
Exactly.
But, like, the extent of of what he was hiding.
Yeah.
From not just Della, but from Penumbra.
Yeah, because he was so chill and so, genuine about everything.
Yeah.
Obviously, he was very, like, ominous about, like, like, she's just... like, whatever, and stuff like that. But I'm like...
Because he knows that Della isn't a threat.
Yeah.
He was saying Penumbra, Della's not a threat. Mm-hmm. But maybe the Earth is.
Yeah.
And even if they aren't, he wants to, like... We'll see in a bit, like, when he explains to Penumbra, that he wants to like, defy what his father, like, he doesn't want to be afraid like his father was. So he's going to launch an assault, a needless assault,
and
against his planet.
Yeah, and make Earth afraid of him and his people. And, like...
Because of his dad, they had to fight some pointless-ass war against the mites.
Yeah.
Which Della fixed like that. So, woof.
Yeah.
It's a really good speech. And yeah, so we see that a bit later, Penumbra... What's the word? Confronts Lunaris.
And she's like, you know, like, you wanted this the whole time. Like,
and he's like, yeah, I just needed something to get. I just need something to give our people a reason to fight.
Yes.
Betrayal.
Yeah. And she says, like, you know, like, that's because they're not warriors.
Yeah.
Which Penumbra goes on to say, like, they're still not warriors, even though now they have maybe a motivation to fight. Like, they still can get hurt, and he doesn't care.
Yeah, she's like, you're gonna get our people killed. And he's like, I don't care. I'm not gonna live in fear of the earth anymore like my father.
They needed a reason to fight, so I gave them one. Betrayal. And I got her to give me these, with a little good old earth compassion.
But you're risking the lives of our people. Aren't you afraid that—
No! I will not spend my life in fear of the earth like my father. The earth will fear me.
I'm like, Jesus Christ. Yeah, because I'm like, they're still not, like, I mean, like, look at Gibbous.
Yeah!
He's not a fighter!
No. He can't hurt anyone! Look at him! He's a soft boy!
Yeah! I'm like, oh my god, no. But yeah, like, now...
Yeah, because he gets all in Penumbra's face. And so she asks her, she asks him, like, then why did you put her with me? Like, you knew I hated her.
Yeah, and Lunaris is like, you know, like, she actually liked you.
She actually liked you.
Yeah, like, it was the only way, like, getting her to live with Penumbra was the only way that she was going to move closer.
Yeah,
so
to move into tranquility.
Yeah, interact with all the people in tranquility.
Yeah. Yeah, and as he's walking away, he tells Penumbra that Della told him that she reminded her of her brother.
Yeah.
Of Donald. And then Penumbra may have some regrets. Because her goal is always protecting her people.
Yeah.
And she sees now that Lunaris doesn't give a shit about that. He wants to make the earth afraid of him. He doesn't care about anything else.
And then we go back to Earth, and, you know, Donald's getting ready. He's waiting for the bus.
Yeah, and he has a little pamphlet for his cruise. He's ready to go.
Yeah.
But then he sees the spear coming in, and it crash lands in the woods, and he immediately knows what it is.
Yeah, he's like, it can't be. And he runs, and he sees it, and, you know, crash landed, and he's like, he starts calling out to his sister, like, Della, holy shit.
And he's never actually said her name.
No.
Yeah. So that's fun. So he finds the spear crashed. But Della isn't there.
Yeah.
He searches the cockpit, he searches inside, and when he climbs back into the cockpit, he pushes a button.
Yes.
And the hatch seals over him, and it starts counting down.
Yes.
Della! Della! Where are you?
Launch sequence activated.
And it's a very, very short sequence, and he can't do anything about it. And so
the spear launches him into space.
Yes.
And at that moment, as Donald is vanishing, we see Della, who got out of the ship very quickly and has been probably running in the opposite direction, outside the gates of the mansion.
We see, you know, the shot of the gate and up into the hill, and she's just like, I'm home.
Yeah.
And I'm like, thank you for giving me this gift, but also fuck you, because Donald deserves to.
We got Della back, but at what cost?
Yeah.
And guys, nobody's going to know where Donald is.
No.
They assume he was waiting for the bus to go on his cruise, where there's no phones.
For a month.
Yes. So, I mean, if it was me and, like, my uncle's long-thought dead sister came back, I would fucking call, like, cruise company, like, get me fucking Donald Duck. His sister's back from the dead.
And they'd be like, get the fuck out of here, you prank caller. No, but yeah, like, I mean,
at this point, the following episode has not been released.
No,
So we do not know what's going to happen about Donald.
Yes.
Like, whether anyone will be like, oh shit, he's on a cruise.
Yeah.
But we'll see him soon.
Yeah.
But we don't know.
Like, he'll come back soon, like, in a month. And meanwhile, we'll get, you know, you reacquainted with your children.
Yeah.
But no, like, Donald is, and I'm assuming it's set to go back to the moon.
Maybe.
But we don't know.
I mean, I don't know where else the fuck he would go. He'll live in space and become the Duck Avenger. space.
Hell yeah.
He'll end up in space for who knows how long. And then his kids will learn to appreciate him more.
Oh no, is he going to be gone for 10 years? I hate this.
Oh god, yeah.
Oh no.
I wonder if they will bring Duck Avenger stuff in, though.
That'd be fun.
That'd be so much fun. I don't know. I don't fucking know what they're doing, though.
We don't work for Disney.
No, we do not. But, yeah, so this was a horrible way to end this episode. Because Donald's in space and nobody knows it.
Yeah.
So that's going to lead to some fun drama and emotion stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't expect, like, the mid-season to be Della coming back.
Because just, like, watching and being like, oh, fuck, she's on Earth. Yeah. Oh, shit, there she is. Yeah. And Donald's running, and you're like, oh, my God, we're going to get a reunion?
Yeah,
no. They don't get to be reunited. Fuck you. And just, like, the disbelief of him getting in the thing and it launching him into space. It's like, excuse me? Mm-hmm. Excuse me? I was expecting a joyous reunion. Where's my reunion?
It's that Donald Duck luck. He can't.
Yes. No. Can't. Who gets stuck with all the bad luck? No one but Donald Duck.
Who's never wrong but always right? Who never dream of starting a fight? Who gets stuck with all the bad luck? No one but Donald Duck.
And he's in.
I missed using that clip, by the way.
Yeah.
That was our Donald Watch clip.
Yeah.
It's gone.
Well, you just put a bunch of it in here.
I will.
Like
all the time.
Yeah, all the awful stuff that happens to him.
Yeah.
Whenever we say his name, just put the whole clip in.
God. But yeah, no, it's a lot. Yeah.
Anyway, we have a question. On that fun note.
Yes.
We have a question from Sylph of Eons.
Yes. Yes, okay, so they say, I get the feeling that this episode of the podcast is going to come out after the question mark mystery episode.
Yes, it is.
But we're recording in advance, but life, you know. But I do want to hear your theories for what this episode will be about regardless. So what do you think mystery episode will be about?
Darkwing Duck.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. What
else could it be?
Yeah. If it's something else, I'll be like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I'm like, who the hell? What the fuck? Who's this?
Yeah, because that's the most anticipated sort of mystery.
It's that or it's, Duck Avenger.
Fuck.
I just imagine Darkwing becomes a real person or something.
Yeah, or the Beakley wearing the Darkwing costume.
Yeah. Like, I mean, they're putting so much mystic. Literally, it's just question marks. Like, are we going to get the title at all? Or it's going to drop on midnight and then guys are going to get the title?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure,
Probably. If they want to maintain the whole mystery of it.
Because the cast is pretty chill about, like, giving hints and building up. And this is very, like, mystery.
We literally don't even have the title.
We don't, it's wild.
So I imagine Darkwing. I just can't really imagine anything else. But if it is Darkwing, it'll be more significant than his cameo in Buddy System.
Yes.
Because that one was a little hush-hush, but not to the level of blacking out the title.
No, like, something's up, and I can't
If it's not Darkwing, I'll be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
Because wherever else it'll be cool. But
hell yeah. I hope if it's Darkwing, Launchpad plays a role.
It has to!
Yeah, I mean maybe Beakley plays a role.
Oh yeah, no, Beakley
Hopefully she does too, because it's been a while since we've had Beakley. Oh, I found hopefully oh my god, I can't speak anymore. It's been a long day. Jeez, but that's what we think. Yeah.
I believe that is all. Alright, you can find us on Twitter at Modespatos. Again, that is where we post all of our shit.
Yeah.
So any updates, fun, like we would blog, we tweet fan art and news and like
cast stuff.
Stuff. Promotional art by the crew, DuckTales crew, and just updates.
Yeah. And you can also find us on Tumblr at Amores Patos Podcast.
That one's just if you don't have a Twitter.
Yeah, and that's mostly like when we update, like, oh, the episode's out, or here's when we're recording soon, and you can send questions in.
Yeah.
You need to send stuff if you want to.
Yeah.
You can also find us at Gmail. Email us.
Email us at Gmail at Podcast at gmail.com. And thank Michael at Dystopian Graffiti for our lovely cover art. And yeah, that's all. Yeah. Saludos, amigos.
Saludos, amigos.